Seven's coverage of horse racing is brought to you by
KFC, 'cause I like it like that. Today's KFC, I like it like that.
In the straight, Babylon Berlin has been grabbed by Imperatriz. Balanipatina coming at it. Imperatriz, 3/4 of a length in front. The Kiwi and Opie. It's Imperatriz wins it from Balanipatina. Imperatriz glides around the corner. 3 lengths in front of Uncommon James. Then I Am Me up the middle, but Imperatriz called upon, still 3 lengths in front, and the Tangerine Tsunami's going to do it again. Imperatriz is going to come the widest into the running. Terrific race at the 150. Imperatriz has swept past all of them and has raced up and grabbed the lead from Giga Kick and Rob File. It's going to win this. Imperatriz, a magnificent display at the 150, led a length and a half. Imperatriz is flying now as we're at the 50. Imperatriz has got her. And raced on by Imperatriz by a length. Private Eye Imperatriz toe-to-toe at the 150, but Imperatriz knuckles down, gets a neck in front of Private Eye coming again. Imperatriz, the star wins.
It's a big run. She's won her last 6. And Richo, what's fascinating about all these Group 1s, the first 2 were at 1,600 metres.
Yeah, so she's won 18 of 24, $5.9 million in prize money, a superstar over in New Zealand. And then she's come to Australia and she's just been this absolute sprint queen. Now, the one asterisk against her will be that has been in Melbourne. She went to Sydney, went to the Canterbury Stakes, which is run on this day. She looked home and then Artorias burst late with Zach Purton and nailed her right on the line. She's been a beauty around Moonee Valley. She's a Group 1 winner on 2 occasions down the straight at Flemington. You'd love to see her win. Racing fans would love to see her win today. And wouldn't that then, for us at 7 Racing, set up an unbelievable TJ if she heads that way?
Not just the Melbourne, Rich, I get that for sure, but also a handicap today. And you touched on that earlier in the program. That makes the difference. And for Black Caviar, those 25 wins, that Newmarket is crucial along with Royal Ascot and others. So, Richo, we left Melody Bell out. She won 14 Group 1s, but won in Australia. We looked at those that have been really prolific in Australia in the last, say, 40 years, 45, and we've come up with this list. And she's starting to climb, and she's got a couple of great horses around her.
Oh, what an incredible list, isn't it? With Sunline and Rough Habit right at the top with 10 Australian Group 1s. Bone Crusher, well, I think you're most impressionable when you're growing up, and he absolutely thrilled me as a younger guy. I loved his will to win. And, you know, whether it be winning a big derby or being able to win a Cox Plate or an Australian Cup, he was extraordinary. So Imperatriz can go past Bone Crusher and Viander Cross today. Wow.
On the day that Bone Crusher is honoured in New Zealand with the Group 1 that we'll be showing you, that Legato is the hot favourite. So some of the colour from Royal Randwick today. It's an absolutely picture-perfect day, and a big welcome for the
First run in 1874, the Newmarket Handicap, down Flemington's famous 1,200 metre straight, has a glorious history with an extraordinary list of winners. From Burnborough to Takeover Target.
Takeover Target dives, grabs him and wins it.
And the mighty Black Caviar, who made it look easy in 2011.
But she is unparalleled. Black Caviar, perfect.
Damien Oliver won the first of his 3 Newmarkets in 1992 on grey sensation Skillaci.
But the grey flash Skillaci's put a gap in them.
In 2018, Redkirk Warrior became just the 5th horse to win the Newmarket twice.
And comes away Redkirk Warrior. What a training effort.
Bart Cummings won it a record 8 times, including with his champion Shaftesbury Avenue.
As they near the line, Shaftesbury Avenue.
While grandson James's 2023 Newmarket with In Secret provided a memorable win for the late Dean Holland, who is now honoured with his name on the trophy awarded to the winning jockey of this great race.
And as Matt said, it was In Secret and Dean Holland. He got the late call up because of Jamie Carr's fall in the Size Produce Stakes, a race that she won today, and then Dean left us tragically just days and weeks after this great breakthrough success in the Newmarket Handicap. A raw and emotional day for so many today, that is for sure. So Dean no longer with us, but long in the memory, and that's the trophy, the great trophy, the 151st running, and for the jockey, the Dean Holland Trophy, which will be pride of place in any hoops room. So what about the jockeys today, and what might it mean for them to win this race? It's called the Melbourne Cup of the sprints. Well, for Opie, you get a 98th Group 1 in this incredible run. For Craig Newitt, well, he'd break the record of 4, the first to get to 4 Newmarkets. Could Jamie win 3 Group 1s in 3 weeks? Why not? But she's going so well. Harry Coffey, has he ridden any better? Has he had a better run? He's got a terrific chance with Benedetta. And what about these 3 roosters? 3 of the top boys in the world, Williams, Lane and Shin. They're looking for their first on the big prize. I mentioned Froggy Newitt. He's won 3.
At this race, it's shades of bivouac for mine. But here's the champ. 14 horses have won the Lightning and Newmarket double. 15 feels appropriate. She'll be considered a champion if she can carry 58. Give weight to the field and win today.
Agree completely, and do what Black Caviar did and win the big 3 at Flemington in the one season. So there's a lot at stake with her. Opie, we know, loves her so much. She's the best. He said she's the best he has ridden. And Mark Walker has done such a super job with her. Jamie Richards started with her. She looks good. She looks absolutely right. Lizzie's standing alongside me. Lizzie, you can see from here. What do you think of her?
Well, she's always been such a good-looking individual. She's built for speed, lovely, strong hindquarter, nice deep girth, and fantastic-looking coat on her. So she's cherry ripe, Bruce.
Bella Nipotina hasn't won at Flemington, Richo, but she's got a heck of a record.
She runs so well, doesn't she? An absolute superb run in the Lightning Stakes. She meets Imperatriz 2.5 kilos better off. If they'd watered the track and it was soft, you'd be all over her. Maybe Sydney's the best place for her because she is so consistent, but just a couple ahead of her today. She's weighted right up to her best, though, with 55.5 kilos. It's a warm day. Remember, that was the reason given for Imperatriz's soft trial early on. Didn't handle the heat. We'll find that theory out today. Now, Buenos Noches.
So the weight difference here between the VRC Sprint Classic and today.
That's really interesting, isn't it? So Buenos Noches at the VRC Classic gave Imperatriz 2 kilos weight, now receives in effect a turnaround of 4.5 kilos better off from that spring. That's going to be such a big factor.
But a big day for him because he's promised so much. He's delivered a lot, but he hasn't closed the deal. Ruthless Dame Richo, another one, like Magic Time, attempting to win the race first up. Only one horse has done that in 107 years.
Yeah, she is a Sangster winner. That was in mare's grade, though. This is a really tough task. Damien Lane, an inside barrier. The feet are right. The synthetic hoof fella's not being used. Kira Ma's just the gun trainer. Never, ever underestimate him. She'll run some sort of race. I'd prefer her to be drawn out wide as opposed to down low. It's going to be interesting to see how she runs, but maybe keep an eye on her for future running. She might be going back and having another crack at the Sangster. Here's my top selection, Bruce. She's a beauty, this girl. She is an absolute class act. She's won 5 of 8. She's first up. She draws wide. She can get cover from the wind. With 53 kilos, receiving 5 off Imperatriz, she can knock her off.
It makes a lot of sense. She's got that wide draw that you like, Richo. She's got that first up record, that Flemington record. She's certainly in the mix. Let's go.
Well, he's running quite well. Interesting. I spoke to Troy Corsons about it last night, and he said, listen, the Lightning run was better this year than it was last year, and then he ran a good race in the Newmarket. I think he could run solo. I've got a fair few ahead of him. Gee, what do you do with the son of Deep Field, who's having his 4th career start, trained by cowboy Chad Ormsby, who's looking an absolute treat in the yard. Dean Yendel's taking the ride. I listened to Mark Walker, the great Kiwi trainer, and he drew some form references for us and thought that Master Fay might have the inferior New Zealand form. Craig Newitt, actually, Bruce, is the only jockey in the entire field that's actually won a Newmarket, and he's won 3. Can he make it 4 with Shripper?
He's got a good chance. Unlucky in the Oakley Plate. He's won a Standish. That double hasn't been done all that often, but I think the horse has got a terrific chance. Cylinder, oh boy, 3-year-old, love them in this race, don't you?
Oh, I love him. I was umming and ahhing whether he'd be my top pick, and then he was around $12 or $14 early in the week. His fixed price is still at double figures. He's a great roughie. He meets Imperatriz 5.5 kilos better off at the weight.
What are you thinking?
Well, it's very hard to tip against her. I know that this is a race that could come undone in because of the weight. My only question mark, I suppose, is whether she's going to be able to fend off horses like Buenas Noches, who's going to be having the last crack at them, and Magic Time. I would say I have to stick with her today. I think that it's her stiffest test, would be safe to say, to date because of the weight. But I think that champions just find a way of getting over the line, and she's certainly heading into that territory, especially in the modern era at the moment.
Felix, that marker mover from Sportsbet.
Well, it's Magic Time. Just $6.50 into 5, but ticked all the way out to $8. Now back into $5.50, the second best backed in the race.
Walked in beside me. Kieran, thanks for your time. You've got two really interesting runners.
Matty Hill said at the start of the day he thought they'd all come down the middle. He didn't think they'd split. How are you seeing it?
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment. I think that's where they will play. There might be one jockey though, Bruce. How many times have we seen it? One jockey that says, you know what, I'm going to go against the trend and go down to the rail or come to the widest runner and run on my own. Be interested to see whether one's brave enough to do that or whether there's any advantage at all in doing it. I mean, I've got memories, and you would have called them, Bruce, when there was 24 across the track. It was impossible to find out who was leading at the halfway mark. But this will be a beauty. We get an opportunity to see a bona fide star of our sport give weight to other quality sprinters and give them a beating and confirm that she's a great and she's a champ, and that's Imperatriz. So a big opportunity for her.
No, I couldn't agree more with you. They've taken up the challenge. We love them for their sportsmanship. They could easily have gone to a weight for age race, maybe in Sydney today. That would have been another challenge, but they've decided, no, we're going to take on a field under handicap conditions and maybe tick a box that not all horses can do. There's Bella Nipotina. Remember, she beat Private Eye, and think about it, on a track that probably absolutely suited her though. Master Fay, who knows? I mean, no one's got any idea really. Bella Nipotina about to go in. The Astrologist placed a couple of years ago, ran pretty well last year. There's Imperatriz and those famous colours that Opie's going to have on his back. So 2, 3 or 4 still to come up. Could Froggy get the job done? Benedetta goes up for Harry Coffey and Jason Warren. That would be something, wouldn't it? She's a really high-class sprinter up the straight, particularly. Remember when she won that race on this day basically last year and set herself up with a clash with What She Needs. So the Astrologist still behind the line. 1 or 2 to come up. Sharippa there for Froggy. Jamie's about to come up. So the moment arrives. Can Imperatriz do what only Black Caviar has done in the metric area and carry 58 kilos as a mare and win the famous Newmarket? It's the race that sorts them out. In many ways, it is the Melbourne Cup for the sprinters. Australian racing is based on handicaps, and they don't get much better than a Newmarket. Here's Matty Hill.
Newmarket Handicap. Locked away, set and racing. And staying there in the stalls with It's Our Time. It's not jumped well at all. It's missed the start about 7 or 8 lengths. Ruthless Dame began quickly with Bella Nipotina. Imperatriz was away pretty well. They are splitting. There's a group of 6 going over towards the inside. It's Ruthless Dame from Imperatriz, Skew with Bella Nipotina. Then came Buenas Noches and Sharippa's in that back group as well. Master Fay is going to blend into the side over on the inner. Then came up the outside. It's Magic Time from the Astrologist, Cylinder, Benedetta, and along gap It's Our Time, heading towards the course proper in the Newmarket. 600 metres to go. Ruthless Dame almost joined by Imperatriz now, followed by Skew If, the Astrologist down the outside with Magic Time. Further back, Bella Nipotina, Buenas Noches, followed by Benedetta and Cylinder. Imperatriz hits the front at the 300 metres with Magic Time, the Astrologist, and Cylinder right down the outskirts. And further back in the field, Ruthless Dame under pressure. Imperatriz at the clock tower, Magic Time, Cylinder the outside. Imperatriz really has to find Cylinder going with her. Cylinder over the top. Cylinder's won the Newmarket by a length. Imperatrice second. Photo third. Benedetta the Astrologist, and then Bella Nipotina. Further back, Magic Time, Sharippa, and Ruthless Dame from Buenos Noches. Never really a factor. Well back was Master Faye Skew If, and it's our time after blundering at the start. Finished last.
And this remarkable story of Jamie Carr just continues. She was to ride in secret last year. We know how that worked out. We thought the Blue Army might be back in town today. She gets a treble today, Richo, but she gets 3 consecutive Group 1s in 3 weeks. She's putting a space between herself and the history of female jockeys in this country.
An incredible talent, Bruce, isn't she? No knock at all on the champ, Imperatrice. Carried 58 kilos, but you summed it up perfectly. This is quintessential Australian racing. It is the handicap, and the 3-year-old with 51.5 kilos, he promised to be a Group 1 winner. And we saw James Cummings do it with Bivouac 4 years ago, and he did it with the filly last year and in secret. James targets this race. They understand it. Godolphin, they picked the right horse. He had trialled up superbly in preparation for this. He pays double figures. Cylinder wins, defeats Imperatrice. Some good runs in around. Magic Time was right there when it counts most. But she's a freak, Jamie Carr, and we'll talk about her for years and years to come.
Gets her 12th Group 1. How appropriate that Exceed and Excel, who retired this week, son wins that. Here's Charlotte Littlefield with Jamie Carr after another historic victory.
I don't think there'd be a dry eye in the area here. There is a racing god. The hairs are standing up on the back of our necks. How does it feel to win the Newmarket with the extra emotion on top?
Look, thought I was a tough person. I'm not today. Look, just even the last race was massive for me to get through that and put it behind me. And today, this is for Dean Holland, because I couldn't imagine anyone riding that horse as well as he did last year, and I'm not happy I fell, but I'm so happy that gave him the opportunity to win the Newmarket, and hopefully he's watching down at us today. That's awesome.
He was riding that with you, Jamie. That was absolutely amazing. I think I don't think you'll ever probably get as an emotive result as today. That was phenomenal.
No, today's been amazing, and for Godolphin, they've always supported me, and look, last year I didn't get the opportunity to win the Newmarket for him. Dean Holland did, which was great, but today it's great to get over last year and start again, and I don't think any day will top today.
You're an inspiration to everyone, especially us females, for yesterday's International Women's Day.
Well done, thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
How beautiful, eh, Lizzie? How beautiful. And those colours that Dean rode, and Jamie summed it up so well, and I think we're all a bit teary right now.
Yeah, it's just a really well summed up ride, and not only that, it was almost as if it was meant to be. She was able to ride this horse and get the very last crack at them, and she was so game in defeat Imperatrice. But to know the backstory of what happened and what we've told today of what played out last year, with Jamie having the horrific fall along with Ethan Brown and Craig Williams, and for her to be back riding in such magnificent style, wearing those blue colours, winning a race that she was meant to win last year, and us losing Dean Holland in such tragic circumstances, it's all like it was meant to be today.
It was, and Imperatrice, just looking at her there, those ears back and giving her absolute best, but it's all about Jamie, about Dean and his memory, about that Blue Army and this colt that now can stand its stud.
And Nassim Dilmi, who you see on screen there, he's been the right-hand man for James Cummings for quite some time. He's switched down now to the Melbourne stables, and this is a great victory for him. He's been part of James's team prior to joining Godolphin, and for them to have this Group 1 winner together is very, very special.
And we're going to hear from James Cummings after this with Emma.
Seven's coverage of horse racing is brought to you by
Today's KFC, I like it like that.
So Tom winner on this day, second in the Golden Slipper, second in the Golden Rose. He wins a Newmarket just like Bivouac and In Secret, 2 other 3-year-olds in these Godolphin blue colours. For Jamie Carr, Dean Holland, and for James Cummings, a huge result. Here's James with Emma Freedman.
James, let's start with the success you've already seen in Melbourne today. Congratulations, 2 really nice winners in Traffic Warden and Cylinder. Back to his best. What a win. Group 1 next to his name.
Yeah, look, it's a pretty important race for us, really. It's with great sadness that we retired Exceed and Excel from the roster this week, and amazing that in the same week one champion exits the stage, and potentially the next champion stallion joins the roster. He's a very interesting horse, Cylinder. He's from he's by Exceed and Excel, who won a Newmarket, over 200 stakes, amazing career as a stallion. Alistair Pulford tells me the first horse that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed really bought in Australia. It was the first big move for Godolphin into this country. Well, Darley at the time. Yeah. And now we've got Cylinder, who is by that horse. He's from the family of Lonhro, and he's out of a Street Cry mare. So he's got it all. Yeah. And what he didn't have yet was a Group 1. Things just hadn't gone his way. And now he's got the Newmarket to his name. So that is a huge result for the farm, and he just had them covered a long way out. And I love the fact that good horses were in the race. Yeah. It just underlines the form, and he powered away from them. So, absolutely all the credit goes to the horse.
Means a lot to you. Had a little bit of a lean run of late, so it's good to see you with a couple of really nice winners.
But even your mate Bruce McAvaney, he sent me a text after I was on radio this morning. He said, "Gee, you're up and about this morning, James." He said, "You've had a lean run, but I think they can turn the corner," and I think he's right. So I appreciate the support, and look, the team's gearing up. They've been working hard, and our horses are starting to show the results.
It's just after 1 o'clock, and you've already got a Group 1 next to your name, so it's a good day already. We'll look forward to seeing this filly.
Thanks, Emma.
Oh, gee, I'm going to be on mic drop in the next, aren't you? Well done, Emma. Darn you, Lizzie. Tell us about this filly.
Oh, dear, that was too funny. She's terrific, isn't she? She won the debutante at the Gold Coast.
Gotta be KFC, cause I like it like that. Gotta be KFC, cause I like it like that. When the Colonel starts a cooking, things start looking good. Yeah, yeah. Those herbs and spices taste the nicest, the way good chicken should. And I like it like that. 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 It's gotta be KFC, cause I like it like that.